Hello, welcome to Curo Chat healthcare session organized by Click to Clinic in association with Active Health. I am Shantanu Singh. I am a physical therapist at Active Health, and today we are going to do a session on how to take care of your body in this period of lockdown. So, since uh, we have already spent a lot of time in our houses due to this lockdown. Those who are working from home must be spending a lot of time in front of a computer screen, या फिर जो work from home नहीं कर रहे हैं वो भी must be spending a lot of time watching movies or Netflixing, watching TV. So that can lead to a lot of unwanted aches and pains and stiffness in our body due to lack of movement and lack of mobility. So today I'm just going to tell you or give you few tips and demonstrate some exercises that you can do to get rid of these pains and how to prevent these pains. So we are going to apply a top to bottom approach. So we will start with our neck. Neck is one of the most delicate parts of the body and very vulnerable to pain. Just a moment so that you can hear me better. I hope I am audible to all. So yes, so we were speaking about neck. So neck is one of the most vulnerable parts of our body because whenever we are looking at something, our neck is always under tension, especially if our posture is not right, then it puts our neck into a great deal of requirement, which can lead to a lot of pains and a lot of unwanted stiffness. So let's discuss how it actually starts. So it actually starts with your posture. For example, whenever you are working with a computer or whenever you're watching movies, when you're slouching a lot, that can create a lot of unwanted tension in your neck and in your shoulders. Like for example, if I go sideways and you observe me. So moment I sit straight, my neck is well stabilized and straight. When I slouch, I instantly put my chin forward. So that poking chin posture or forward head posture can lead to a lot of stress in your neck muscles and a lot of stress in your shoulder muscles. To prevent that, it's very important to take care of your posture. And in case if you're already having neck issues, then let's have a look at some stretches that you can do for your neck in order to get rid of this pain. So one of the easiest stretches that you can do to get rid of this tension in your neck is for that you just need to sit straight, use your hand, keep it over your ear on the opposite side and try to pull it. So this stretch actually helps to stretch the muscles on the side of your neck and the muscles on your shoulder. So if you are having tension on the side or on the shoulder, this stretch will actually help you to get rid of that tension and will help you with the pain. And for example, if you're not able to do it correctly or if you're not able to get the right kind of stretch, then there's another trick to it that you can use to create a better stretch. For just to demonstrate, so if you just take your hand on the back on the side that you are stretching and then perform the same stretch and at the same time look down towards the corner of the floor. So you have to turn your head and then push it down. So sometimes that helps to get you the better stretch or the right kind of stretch that you're looking for. So it helps to stretch the upper trapezius muscles and it can help you a lot with the neck pain and sometimes with headaches as well. So this is one of the stretches that you can do. Other than that, another good technique to release these muscles or to release the tension in the muscles is just using equipment like for example this ball. So you can use any round object or any blunt object that you have available at home. For example, a ball or chapati belne wala belan ya phir anything that is blunt. So you can take that object, put it over your shoulder and just roll it gently with some pressure. So when you roll your muscles, it actually helps to get rid of the tension in the muscles, helps to release the muscles and helps you to get rid of the pain. If you don't have a round object at home, then another simple technique that you can use is use a towel. So like for example, a towel that I have over here. You can use this towel, keep it over your shoulder, lock it across your shoulder with your hand. So grip it tightly, and use the edge of this towel to just release the muscles. So when you hold the towel across your shoulder and lock it, do gentle neck movements away from the side that you are trying to release. So these constant gentle movements will help you to release the tension in the neck muscles. You can apply the same thing on the other side and helps really well and can give you very good results to release tension in the shoulder muscles. Then what to do about the forward neck posture? So for that you need to exercise those muscles which help you to bring your head into a straight position. So when your neck is in a forward head position here, so you need to bring your head back. To do that you need two things. First, strength in the front to bring your chin back, and the second is strength in the mid back to hold your shoulder blades back. So how to strengthen your shoulder blades at home if you have no equipment at all, and you don't have time to even get up and move around. So very simple trick is again using this towel. It can come in really handy. So make a small roll of this towel and then twist it. So these twists will help you to get some resistance from the towel. So as you twist the towel, it will become shortened. So it will try to shorten in length, and we can use this as a resistance tool. Like for example, see, it's already shortened. So if you try to just stretch this towel across your shoulders or across your chest, you can use it as a resistance. So when you try to stretch this towel across your chest, using your back muscles, and just doing this exercise and holding this stretch for let's say 10 seconds or 15 seconds, it gives you a really good contraction in the shoulder blades and work out the muscles that are important to keep our posture correct. So just roll a towel, twist it, hold it across your chest, try to pull both the ends away from each other. So if I show you from a better angle, so if you twist the towel, hold it like this and try to pull both the ends away from each other. So you will instantly feel a contraction in your shoulder blades. When you feel the contraction, hold it there for 10 to 15 seconds, repeat it 4 to 5 times and try to repeat it multiple times a day to work out your shoulder blade muscles and to have a good posture. Another good way or another good exercise to work out the same muscles is again with a towel. I hope that you guys must have heard of shoulder presses, or military presses. So we can do the same thing with this towel. So again, you twist the towel, try to pull both the ends away from each other, raise your arms above your head, then try to pull your arms down and up again. So use this towel as a barbell. At the same time you pull both the ends away, so it will give you some resistance as well, and you perform a military press. So if I show you from the other angle, it looks something like this. So again, when you try to pull the towel away, both the ends away, that gives you resistance and that helps you to work out the muscles in the back. So another very good exercise for your posture, another good exercise for your shoulder as well, and for your neck as well. So these two are very important, very easy exercises that you can do. It will help you to get yourself into a good posture, and can also help to get rid of shoulder pain and back pain, upper back pain especially, and neck pain. Neck pain. Another good exercise with a towel. So actually I am quite fond of this towel because it is a very handy tool, and you can do some very nice exercise with the towel. So those who have complaints of shoulder pain, especially those who are having restriction in the ranges, you can call somebody having like frozen shoulder, complaints like that. They can also do some good exercises with the towel. For example, again you take the towel, twist it the same way, hold it across your stomach like this, and again try to pull both the ends away from each other. So this is called external rotation of the shoulder. It's very good for the rotator cuff muscles of the shoulder. So rotator cuff actually helps to stabilize our shoulder joint, and it can help all those patients who are having complaints of shoulder ache and shoulder pain, which we also call impingement syndrome. If you have trouble taking your arm up above your head, or if you have troubles, raising your arms up front or sideways, so this simple exercise can help you get rid of this pain. So again, you take the towel, roll it, twist it, and as soon as it starts to twist, you use the resistance, keep your elbows nicely tucked in to your torso, and try to pull both the ends away from each other. So you will feel a nice contraction in your rotator cuff. Hold that contraction, again hold it for 10 to 15 seconds and repeat it 5 to 8 times, or till the time you feel a fatigue, and try to repeat it multiple times in one go, 2 to 3 times at least. You can do it multiple times a day as well. Now let's go back to the thoracic spine, or to the upper spine. So to get a good posture, it's very important to maintain good mobility in your thoracic spine or the upper back. So we already had a look at some of the exercises that can help to engage the muscles in the thoracic spine and in the shoulder blades to get a good posture. Another very good mobility exercise for the thoracic spine is you just take your hands, lock your fingers, keep them in your neck, make your elbows point forward, push your chest out, at the same time try to point your elbows towards the ceiling. So again, a very good exercise for the whole upper body complex, helps you to get mobility in your thoracic spine, helps you to get rid of the neck pain. So again, just to demonstrate, you lock your fingers, keep your hands in your neck, point your elbows forward, and then try to point your elbows towards the ceiling and push your chest out. To show you from another angle, so I keep my hands in the neck, elbows pointing forward, then I try to point my fingers up towards the ceiling. At the same time, I push my chest out. So as you can see, the curve in my upper spine reverses. So from a slouch position, I go to a straightish position as soon as I try to point my elbows up. So that helps you to get a good posture, helps you to get good mobility in your thoracic spine, and very good for those who are working with a laptop or with a computer during this lockdown. So these are like must-do exercises for you. So let's come to the lower part of the body, lower back. Again, a very vulnerable spot, since you're sitting, not moving around. It can. Sorry for that. So there's a saying in our field. So with muscles, if you don't use them, you lose them. So when you're sitting down and not putting enough demand on your lower back, then you can lose great deal of strength in your lower back and create a lot of problems. So let's have a look at some exercises, some stretches that can help you to restore the mobility in your spine in the lower back, and restore the strength in your lower back. So let's start with a very easy stretch for the lower back. So when you're sitting on a chair, not using your buttocks, your back too much, it can produce a lot of tension in the lower back. So very easy stretch to do in sitting for your lower back and for your buttock is you cross your leg like this in a figure of 4 position, hold your knee, try to pull it across towards the opposite shoulder. So it stretches the buttock area and the lower back area at the same time. So it gives you a good stretch. When you feel the stretch, you hold it there for 10 to 15 seconds. Repeat it 2 to 3 times. Repeat it on both the sides. You can do it multiple times a day. Helps you to get rid of the pain, aches and stiffness around the buttocks and the lower back. So straight, you cross your leg, hold your knee, try to pull it across towards the opposite shoulder. So that will give you a good stretch in the buttock area and in the lower back area. When you feel the stretch, hold it there and Repeat it 2 to 3 times. That will help you to get rid of the pain in the buttock area and in the lower back area. Another good stretch for your lower back that you can do is, so we call this bending forward stretch. Although a lot of people are scared that bending forward might ruin the health of the spine, but bending is actually good for your spine because it provides mobility to your spine. Of course, precautions, if advised by a doctor, you should take them. But in general, bending is good for the spine. There is like nothing to be scared about that. So another good stretch for the back is forward bending. Just a moment, let me figure out where to keep my phone to show you the stretch. So I'll sit back to show you the stretch. So you open your legs, try to bend forward. So you bend forward, keep your hands on the floor, and then you try to reach forward. Try to reach forward as far as you can. So this is a good stretch for the lower back. It gives you a good stretch over the lower back muscles in this area. Can help you to get rid of the tension in the lower back. Can help you with the relieving pain in the lower back as well. When I speak of the lower back, again, it's a vulnerable area to get tensed. So let's have a look at a very good technique to release the tension in the lower back. Again, use a blunt object like a ball. So with a ball, you can massage your paraspinal muscles. So when I say paraspinal, I mean the muscles on the sides of the bony part of your spine. So if you keep your fingers right in the center of your back, you might be able to feel some bones. Don't need to roll over the bones, but the muscles by the side of these bones. So you can either use the pressure of your hand, or you can use a technique like this. So you keep the ball over your paraspinal muscles, lean against the wall, and then try to roll over. So you will be able to use your body weight in order to release the muscles in your back. So it helps you to get rid of the tension in the lower back, and a very good technique to release the back muscles can help you a great deal to get rid of the lower back pain. Now let's come to the knee. So knee and your lower back and your hip, they act like one complex, and it's very hard to distinguish between knee and back. So everything that you stretch in your knee can affect your back pain as well in a good way. So let's have a look at some stretches that you can do for your knee and for your back that can be helpful in both. So we will start with a very, very easy and very good stretch that's called a hamstring stretch. So to stretch it, so hamstrings are these muscles which are located in the back of your thigh. जो आपके थाई के पीछे की तरफ की muscles होती हैं, they are called hamstrings. In order to stretch them, what you need to do is you just need to. So when you're sitting, so in sitting position, try to make your knee straight like this. Then try to reach for your toe. So when you go into this position, you will be able to feel a stretch in your hamstrings. So when you feel that stretch, again, so the procedure remains the same. When you feel the stretch, you hold the stretch for 10 to 15 seconds, repeat it 2 to 3 times, and then repeat it multiple times a day, 2 to 3 times a day. It will help you to get rid of the stiffness in your hamstrings. Also helpful in getting rid of back pain. Another good stretch for the knee is a sumo squat. So it's a sumo squat is, so it actually is a very good stretch for your groin, helps with the knee pain and helps with the back pain as well. So you use a broad stance, keep your feet away from each other, point your toes out, and then you try to squat. At the same time you push your knees out. So when you go into this position, you will feel a stretch in the groin. So when you feel the stretch, you hold this position for again 10 to 15 seconds, repeat it 2 to 3 times. If it's difficult for you to maintain this position, you can take support from a wall or from any object that you can hold on to. Like for example, you can hold on to a wall, again use a broad stance, point your toes out and then squat. When you feel a stretch in the groin, hold it there 10 to 15 seconds and repeat it 2 to 3 times, multiple times a day, and multiple times in one go as well. So it's a very good stretch for your groin, very good stretch for your knee, and helps great deal with knee pain and with back pain as well. Another stretch is quad stretch. So hamstrings are located in back of the thigh. In the front, these are called quads muscles. So the easiest way to stretch your quads is you can take support of an object like this, or you can keep your knee over the bed or over your sofa, anything that you can keep your knee on. Then what you do is, so I take support from my knee, hold the leg, try to bend it. So this stretches the front portion of the thigh. Very good for knee pain, very good for back pain. But those who have knee issues, those who have chronic knee issues, needs to be careful with this stretch, because if you don't have enough mobility in your knee, it can cause some troubles. So if your knee, if you don't have any chronic issues in your knee, if you can bend your knee to extremes, then it's advisable to do this stretch. If not, then you should be careful. There's another alternative to this stretch which can be done on the floor. So for that, what you need is, just a moment. So to do an alternative of this stretch, so you need to go in a kneeling position. So you use a split stance, take your knee down. Again, you can take support, you can hold on to any object, or you can do it in front of a wall, and then you lean forward. So you lean forward by bending the leading knee. So as you lean forward, you'll feel a stretch in your groin and in front of the knee. So this stretch is So this kneeling stretch is a good alternative for the stretch that we did in standing position for the quads. Again, helps very much with knee pain, helps very much with back pain, and it's a very effective stretch. Then let's talk about another stretch, calf stretch. So calf muscles are the muscles in your leg, these muscles. So these muscles can get sore while standing or while walking around, and the soreness or the stiffness in these muscles can lead to a lot of pain in the knee as well. So it's very important to keep these muscles flexible. So along with the neck and the shoulder blades, I consider calf as one of the muscle group which needs to be flexed continuously, or needs to be stretched again and again. It's very important to keep them flexible. So let's have a look at a way to stretch them. So to stretch your calves, you stand in front of a wall, keep both your hands on the wall, then you step forward. So you're using a split stance, keeping both your heels down on the floor, and then you lean forward. And you need to keep your trunk straight. So you're just leaning forward by bending the leading knee and not letting the heel of the foot, which is behind your body, to come off the floor. So when you go into this position, you'll feel a stretch in the legs and the calf muscles. Again, when you feel a stretch, we already know the process. You hold it there for 10 to 15 seconds, repeat it 2 to 3 times, and then try to repeat it multiple times a day, preferably 2 to 3 times a day. Helps you to get rid of the calf pain, helps you to get rid of the heel pain, also sometimes pain in the sole of the foot. The stiffness in the calf can also lead to that, and stretching your calves can also help you get rid of the foot pain as well. So these are few stretches, few movements that you can do to get rid of or to prevent the aches and pains that most frequently occur due to lack of mobility. Also, along with that, let's have a look at some more exercises for the lower body to keep the muscles in movement and to keep, as I said, and with muscles, if you don't use them, you lose them. To keep your muscles fit and strong in your lower body, let's have a look at a few of the exercises. So one of the very easy exercises for your knee and your lower body is leg extension. A leg extension is you sit and then you just try to make your leg straight like this. So you stretch your leg forward. So when you stretch your leg forward, you use your quads muscles. So your quads muscles make a major part of your thigh. They are very strong muscles, needs to be strengthened perpetually in order to keep your knee healthy. So when you do a leg extension, you use your quad muscles. Again, when you contract this, you hold it for 10 to 15 seconds, repeat it 10 to 12 times. So when you do a strengthening exercises, you repeat it more than a stretch. If you feel this is quite easy for you to do, you can use some resistance. Like for example, you can use your other leg to provide you some resistance to do this exercise. So if you just cross your legs like this, so by the weight of this leg, I can provide some resistance to this thigh. So you can do a leg extension, a continuous leg extension like this, or better, you hold this contraction. So when you feel a contraction, hold it there for 10 to 12 seconds, repeat it 10 to 12 times, and do multiple sets, 2 to 3 sets. So this is a very good exercise for the quads. Another very good exercise is squats. So although squats, when I say squats, we immediately think that squat means going down all the way. Squats can be done in multiple ranges. The safest range to do a squat is the initial range. So when I say initial range, I mean this. So even if you do a squat till this range, it's very effective and it's very, very safe. So in order to make it challenging, what you need to do is you can do two things. Either you can hold this position. So hold this position for a number of seconds, let's say for 30 to 40 seconds. So why I say 30 to 40 seconds is because the leg muscles are already very strong, they are big muscles. In order to exhaust them, we need to put them under a lot of stress. So when you hold this position for 30 to 40 seconds, you will start your thighs burning, you will start feeling the contraction in your thighs. Hold on to this position and then go straight. Just the initial position. Or another method to challenge your thighs or your lower body is you go down your squat and then bounce. So bounce in the mid range. So don't go up all the way. So slightly up and bend, slightly up and bend. So this is another way to challenge your lower body. It's very, very good for the strength, for strengthening your buttocks, your quads, your hamstrings, all the muscles in your thigh. You can do it with variation of stances as well. For example, if I do it with a narrow stance, it challenges more of my quads. If I open the stance, it challenges more of the buttocks. And if I go even further, it challenges my groin. So you can broaden your stance as well and target different muscles in your lower body at the same time. So these are few of the exercises that are very good to keep your lower body in shape, to keep your body moving. And also another thing with the lower body is, since when we do lower body exercises, the lower body muscles are quite large, quite bigger. So they burn more energy. So if you're looking to lose weight, doing lower body exercises can help you to burn more calories and can help you to lose weight faster. So that's pretty much it. So these are the exercises that you can try, and that will help you to get rid of the pains in your neck, your lower back, your knee. So definitely try these, and it'll be really, really good for you. So now let's have a look at some of the questions. Okay, so I will go through the comments and take some questions. Okay, hello. Okay, so Somebody is asking, suggest some postures to be followed for slip disc issues and exercises. So slip disc, if you have back pain with a slip disc, it's rather safe to do the exercises that we just discussed. But in case of a slip disc, if you are having radiating pain or a shock like sensation down your thigh, then you should better consult a physician before doing any exercises. But in general, for slip disc cases, it's important to keep your muscles flexible. So if you go back and look at the hamstring stretch that I explained, it actually works very well. Along with the muscle, it stretches the nerves as well, so it can help you to get rid of some pain due to slip disc. But again, as I said, if you have shock like sensations down your thigh, if you are feeling numbness in your legs, then you must consult a physician or a physical therapist personally before starting any exercises. And when you ask for a posture, a good posture for a slip disc client, maintaining mobility in your spine, it's the most important thing. So our spine is made to move around. Our spine is actually supposed to rotate, it's supposed to twist, bend. So it's important to keep moving. Don't fixate yourself. Don't just stop being active. It's very important. In case if you have any pain, just try to move around, try to be mobile. It actually is helpful, it's not harmful. Okay, so stiff neck issues. In the beginning of the video, I showed you some exercises, some stretches for the neck and for the shoulder muscles. So those 3 or 4 initial stretches are actually very good to get rid of the stiffness in the neck. So you can try these. It's right in the beginning of the exercise. For the stiff back, so the stretch that I showed you when I bent forward and tried to keep my hands on the floor, that actually helps really good to get rid of the stiffness in the back. Also the hip stretch that I just demonstrated, it is also a very good exercise to get rid of the stiffness in the back. So these are few of the topics that I have already covered. Then okay, how does plyometric help in muscle spindle activation? So plyometrics, when you talk about plyometrics, they are actually pretty advanced form of exercises. Plyometrics are it's an explosive movement which uses interchangeable cycles of concentric and eccentric contraction, or shortening or lengthening a muscle. So your muscle fibers shorten and lengthen pretty quickly while doing a plyometric exercise. Very explosive. So any sort of contraction in the muscle activates your muscle spindle. Muscle spindle is actually the unit of the muscle which helps you to contract the muscle. So doing plyometrics or any sort of contraction will activate your muscle spindle. And if you are planning to go for plyometrics, then I would suggest that you again consult a specialist personally, because there are some predetermined requirements to perform plyometrics, and they use a great deal of skill and a great deal of strength as well. Then so if I have a torn ACL, can I still do this? So if you have an ACL injury, so you can pretty much do all of the exercise that I have performed, because ACL ligament actually helps to stabilize your knee joint. And closed chain exercises, by closed chain I mean the exercises in which your feet are on the floor. They are pretty safe to perform for your knee if you have any ligament injuries, or if you have any stability issues with your knee. So any form of closed chain exercise like a lunge or a squat are beneficial for somebody who's having an ACL injury. But if your ACL is completely torn, then it's important actually to to fix that first, because doing just these exercises, they require a lot of patience and a lot of time. So if you stick to the exercises, don't expect results right away, or if you want quick results, you need to fix your ACL first, and then you can continue with this exercise, with these exercises. Anyways, these exercises are pretty safe to do, whatever I have explained. So treatment for herniated disc. So that actually that's a pretty vague question. It involves a lot of techniques, a lot of approaches. So a herniated disc in itself, it's not a how to say that. So a herniated disc in itself can create a lot of problems in different structures of your body. So you need to identify the structure which a herniated disc is irritating, then you need to fix that structure. For example, a herniated disc can irritate a nerve that goes down the back of the thigh. It can also irritate a nerve that goes to your to your foot, and it also depends on at which level a disc is herniated. So these are few of the factors that drive the that basically decides what sort of treatment we apply for a herniated disc. But herniated discs are these days it's a very misused term. Our disc degenerates over a period of time. They age as our body age. It's very common for them to degenerate, nothing to be worried about. So if you have a herniated disc, again, the most important advice that I can give you is just keep moving, try to keep your muscles strong. And if you have any radiating pain symptoms or shock like sensations or numbness in your legs, then you better consult a physician personally. Then plantar fasciitis. So plantar fasciitis, the calf stretch that I demonstrated right at the end of the session, it's a very good stretch that you can use to get rid of some stiffness in the sole of the foot. So plantar fascia is basically the sole of the foot. Also releasing the sole of the foot also helps to get rid of the plantar fasciitis pain. Again, you can use a blunt object, any blunt object like a ball or even a water bottle. Keep your foot over it, try to roll around over that ball or over that blunt object. Helps you to get rid of the stiffness in the foot. It's very important to keep your calves flexible as well. And also there's a method of fomentation called contrast bath, in which you alternate between a cold immersion and a hot water immersion for your foot. So we follow a ratio of 1:3. So you take 2 balls of water, one hot and one cold. You immerse your foot in the cold water for 1 minute, and then alternate to the hot water for 3 minutes. Repeat that cycle 3 to 4 times. These are some common treatment techniques to get rid of plantar fascia pain. Then so I wake up every morning with stiff fingers. So stiffness in small joints of the hands can be indicative of a systemic problem as well. When I say that, I mean it can be a symptom of rheumatoid arthritis as well. But again, it's a very vague symptom to diagnose any such problem. But if you're having morning stiffness, and stiffness particularly in small joints of the body, then it's better to consult a physician or consult a rheumatologist. They might ask you to go for certain tests, or you can, before doing that, you can just simply try hot fomentation. Again, use hot water, immerse your hand into a ball of hot water. When I say hot, I mean lukewarm. So immerse your hand into a ball full of lukewarm water. Try to move your fingers around, and it might help with the stiffness. But if the morning stiffness persists, then you need to see a doctor. For chronic knee pain, again, chronic knee pain can be caused by different issues. Chronic knee pain can be associated with lack of mobility as well. if you're having lack of by lack of mobility I mean stiffness in your knee, if you're not able to completely straighten your knee or completely bend your knee, then your chronic knee pain becomes a slightly bigger issue to tackle with exercises. Then you need to go for certain tests, certain examination to find out what exactly, how exactly this chronic knee pain is occurring, and what do we need to do about it. But if you want to know the exercises that you can do for chronic knee pain, then the exercise that I demonstrated, you can try them. But if that causes pain or increases the level of your pain by 30 to 40%, then you should avoid doing these exercises, and then you need to consult somebody personally. Okay, any other questions? So any occasional cramps in the calves? Okay, so cramps can be caused by either by dehydration or by lack of nutrients in your body, or lack of blood supply, or lack of circulation especially in the legs. So if you feel that your feet or your legs always feels cold, then you need to keep them warm. That usually happens in winters. But having plenty of fluid and having something like sprouts or banana, keeping that a constant part of your diet actually helps to get rid of constant cramps. It's a very 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 easy, very good technique that you can use. So basically calcium and potassium deficiencies can cause troubles, cause cramps. Okay, so I think I have pretty much okay. So can these be done at 57 years of age? Definitely you can do these exercises at their age has no bar for these exercises. They are very easy to perform. That's why when I was explaining squats, I told you that to do them in the initial range. It's the safest way to perform a squat. So you can do any of these exercises without any troubles. But if you have problems bending your knee to a certain extent, if you don't have enough range to bend your knee, then you need to avoid that quad stretch. Apart from that, you can do any of these exercises. They will only help you, cause no harm. Mobility is good for your body, so it's good for you to move any which way possible, any way that you feel comfortable. It helps you a lot. Okay, so joint pains. So how to get rid of joint pains? I'm assuming you're asking that. So if you have multiple joint pain, then it's slightly more more vague to answer. But if you're having joint pains specific to a joint, like for example, if you're having pain with your knee joint, or if you're having pain with your elbow joint, then it can be helped. Usually with chronic pains, we advise people to try hot fomentation and stretches. So it helps to get rid of the stiffness of the joints. But if you're having pain, or you're noticing signs of inflammation, or you're noticing swelling in your joint, then it's better to take advice personally before you try any of the exercises, because inflammation indicates towards a deep rooted problem. But if you are having stiffness in your joints, if one joint, let's say your knee or your hip or your elbow, then you can initially try hot fomentation and stretches. So knee joint, okay, so for knee joint pain, you can try the stretches that I have explained. So these are very good stretches, especially the hamstring stretch and the calf stretch. Try those. They will help you to assess whether the pain that you are having in your knee is because of the stiffness in the muscles, or it's some other issue. Because if there is, it's because of the stiffness, then it is supposed to go down or decrease. Your pain is supposed to decrease with these stretches. But in case if these stretches do not help, then you need to then we need to examine further whether it's a general stiffness, age related problem, or something else. So you can pretty much try the lower body stretches or lower body the strengthening exercise that I've explained. They will help you to get rid of the knee joint pain. So these are very very good, very safe stretches, very safe exercises to do if you have any problems like that. Okay, so I think I've pretty much covered all the queries. So I think that's it from today's session. So we'll be again at your doorstep. The Curo chat will again be at your doorstep with our team of health experts, nutritionists, physiotherapists. Stay tuned till then, and see you next time. Bye bye.